In this video, I'm going to be showing you why having a bad push-up form is going to be killing your gains. So I started my calisthenics journey back in 2016, and of course, when I started off, I didn't know what I was doing, and I did my push-up with a very bad form. All the bad things in the book, some lack of core engagement, lack of range of motion, my feet stance, my breathing technique, until somebody who was experienced, who could do the muscle up, the handstand, the front lever, he came into me and said, "Pat bro, you're doing this wrong. Here's how you fix it, just so that you can get the most out of the push-up." So I'm going to be showing you the different components of what could go wrong and how to fix it. Starting with the first one is the range of motion. So how deep are you going with your push-up? Because having a full range of motion is going to enable you to be able to recruit more muscle fibers, because as you go down, your muscles are going to start shortening, especially in your chest and in your tricep. And then as you go back up, it's going to start to lengthening. And the more range of motion you get, the more time under tension this is going to create on your muscles, and therefore more endurance gains and more strength gains. A lot of people I see typically at the gym, they would do their push-ups with their half rep. So they're not coming down all the way down and not going all the way up. So to fix this, please do it with full range of motion, where you coming down until your triceps are at least parallel to the ground. And then you come up, push your arms all the way up and lock your arms out, just to extend that range of motion. Remember, range of motion leads to time under tension, leads to greater strength and endurance gains. So that is the first one I'd like you to fix. The second factor that could go wrong is lack of core engagement. Oftentimes I see people doing their push-ups with an arched back. And what this shows is that it's an anterior pelvic tilt, meaning that your lower back is not being actively engaged, your core are not actively engaged, and same with your glutes. So we want to reverse this. So going from an anterior pelvic tilt into a posterior pelvic tilt, meaning that you're going to do your push-up with a flat lower back. So you want to think about pulling your belly button back towards your spine and twisting your hips forward, so that way there'll be no gap in your lower back. So it's just going to be a nice straight line when you're doing your push-ups, and that is what we call a posterior pelvic tilt. Now, it's not necessary to do them, but if you do, it's better, because then you're going to be able to recruit your core, your glutes. And if you think about doing the handstand or the muscle up or the front lever, all of these muscles need to work together in order to get the most out of the exercise. So if we condition your core, your glutes, this posterior pelvic tilt from an easy exercise such as doing push-ups, then when you start to learn for more advanced stuff, you're going to have an easier time, because the foundations are there. You built good habits right from the start. So remember, pull your belly button back towards your spine, push your glutes down, pelvic tilt, and then keep this tension all the way throughout whenever you're doing push-ups, whether it's stand push-ups, diamond push-ups, etc, etc. Moving on to the third mistake that I usually see is elbow positioning. Oftentimes people will do their push-ups with their elbows flared out, and even when I'm doing it in a demonstration video, it is hurting my shoulders a lot, because when you come down into a push-up and then you push back up with your elbows flared out, it's going to put your rotator cuffs in an uncompromised position, meaning that you're going to put them in danger of creating strain, because this elbow angle is not a natural angle for where your shoulders should be working. That is why we keep our elbows tucked in close to your torso, just so that we can get one, extra range of motion, and two, keep our shoulders in good health. So then it's able to go down naturally and push up naturally. Doesn't always have to come fully in, just about 45 degrees from your back to your elbows, not flaring out like this, right? And bearing in mind, keep the range of motion too, and also keep your core and glutes tight. All right, moving on to the third mistake. This one is a minor one. It's not gonna make a massive difference, but it's great to do it from the start. When I see people do push-ups, they spread their stance quite wide, their feet. Now, there's not gonna be much difference between spreading your feet, but when you have your feet close together, it's gonna make it a lot more harder, because now your balance of support is going to be much more shorter, and when it's much more shorter, you're going to be forced to use your core muscles more to stabilize yourself whilst you're doing these push-ups. So if possible, keep your feet together rather than spreading them out, because it's gonna help you with stability if you spread them out too much. So obviously we wanna make it a little bit more challenging for us, so that way we can keep progressing and getting stronger. So keep your feet together. Now your balance of support is gonna be much more smaller. You're gonna use more of your core strength, and therefore you're gonna get more out of your push-up. And the fifth one is breathing. Now, when we breathe efficiently, we're gonna be able to squeeze a few more reps and also be able to add more weight on top if you wanna start doing weighted push-ups down the line. That's a fundamental. When breathing, as you go down, so during the eccentric, you inhale. And then as you go up, you exhale. Now, if you're gonna be repping out push-ups very fast, it's gonna be quite hard to just, but as a fundamental, you come down, you inhale. As you go up, you exhale. Think about powerlifters. How do they breathe? Before doing a squat, they'll inhale. You go down, and then as they exert the force, they exhale, right? So this is the same for when you're doing push-ups. So you inhale, go down, and then as you exhale, you push up. And when you breathe, you're gonna be able to squeeze a few more reps, because then the oxygen that you've breathed in is going to be able to disperse lactic acid. The lactic acid is actually what's causing you to cramp up, have that fatigue. So the more oxygen we enable to come into our body and circulate around our bloodstream, the more we're able to disperse lactic acid, and therefore we're going to be able to do a few more reps. So if your max push-ups is like 10, you might be able to get a few more reps in, like 2 to 5, right? Because you're breathing a little bit better. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you found value from this. If you do, please give us a like, comment, and also consider subscribing, so that way you can come back more for videos like this one. And if you'd like to be personally coached by me, I've leave a link to my website down below, where you can check a variety of services that I have. So thank you so much for watching. Catch you in the next video.